Jerry Service Center here again. Specialist in SUVs, pickups, Ranger, Hilux. Today we're working on a Ford Ranger, doing some suspension work, servicing the air brake, machine the brake drum. What has happened is when you don't service your brake on time, it has gathered dust. That is from constant applying brake. And when you gather the dust stays inside this drum. This is called the brake drum. And when this happens, it goes between the drum and the shoes and cause lines on the brake drum. Or if the shoes is wear down the lining, this is called the lining here, the brake lining. If that wear down, and it could also damage the brake drum. How the brake works, it's hydraulic fluid pressure runs from the front master cylinder. The master cylinder is where it is pouring the brake fluid. So it runs from the master cylinder and it comes through the lines and goes through this cylinder here. So all that is brake fluid. Now when you mash, this is just a quick theory of how it is work, right? And when you mash your brake, it sends fluid and fluid pushes this here and it opens. It have two pistons inside it. It pushes like this, and when it pushes like this, it pushes the shoes on this side and it pushes the shoes on that side, and it locks against the drum. And that's how the brake works. To get more pressure from the master cylinder, it's attached to something called a booster, a brake booster. Anyhow, so we servicing the rear brake on that. The velocity joint, which is also called the axle, on this is defective. The shock is defective on this. The bushing here on this bottom of the shock bursts and it gets squeaking sound. The lower cradle bushings and all, the brake pads and all wear down, so we're changing that. And this is the axle, or the velocity joint as we call it, or drive shaft. Those are the different names for it. Front wheel bearing is also making noise, so we're changing this front wheel bearing. This is after press out and press in. We have that in stock and we do the pressing out right here. So this was getting a similar noise, like a bearing noise, while driving this vehicle. And what happened is the shock is defective. And when the shock defective, what it does, the shock holds down the vehicle from going up and down to keep it a little more stable on the road. When the shock is bad, you get that up and down movement. And when you get that up and down movement, it affects the tires to go up and down. And when the tires go up and down, it cuts high and low, right, wrong. And with that high and low uneven wear on the tire, it gives you a whistling sound like zzz, and it sounds like bearing. So you have to identify if it's bearing or tires when you hear that sound. So we're changing 4 tires on this for the noise: wheel bearing, front wheel, velocity joint, some brake pads, and servicing the brakes. There's also a bushing here on this diff. This is the front differential. It's a 4-wheel drive. This bushing is defective. Just cause a rocking back and forth on the diff on these Ford Rangers, so you need to check on that. So we're replacing that diff bushing also, and some other suspension works. So there's a brief description of what we're doing with this vehicle. And we have a burst engine mount on this also, so you're getting a little vibration while you're idling. That's because of the engine mount. So these are the engine mounts here, right side. The other one is the left side. There are about 3 different types of engine mount. So we have them here at Jerry's. Right, this one here is called the transmission mount, or the rear engine mount. The transmission mount, as we locally know it. We also changing some universal joint, which is called the drive shaft cross. So we're having a shake on this unit here, and it's causing a vibration on takeoff. So, and this rubber also is effective. Right, these are working vehicle. That's why I find so much of defects. It's not a vehicle for pleasure. So it's got work every day. So that is why it has so much of defective parts, or bad parts I should say. So this we're solving vibration, we're solving a shake on the diff with suspension, a velocity joint noise, a humming sound, a bearing noise. All this is going to happen on this vehicle. On another, we have an NP300 here. On this NP300, what we're doing is noise when you guide turning the steering. So we put on some Super Pro bushing on the steering arc. This is the polyurethane bushings on them. We replace them. There's one here, and there's the other one right here, right on the steering arc. So we're doing a transmission flush on this. Purging out all the transmission fluid, putting in new fluid, power steering fluid, brake fluid, a complete flush out on this, and a little service on the steering suspension. So give us a call at 671-0713 or 730-9449. Right, 4x4 repairs. Right, Ranger, NP300, Navara. Right, on this one here, as I mentioned yesterday, we were doing our engine. This is a 5-cylinder Ford. So this engine overheat to the max. Right, where all the sensors and everything melt out. We're doing a complete engine replacement on this, or either engine rebuild. We take it out, we scrap it out, do an examination and see if we can rebuild, or if we have to replace the complete unit. Right, so give us a call for pickup, SUV and van parts and service. Check us out on Facebook, Jerry Service Center Limited.